I wanted to do a quick follow-up video from my last one about how to test your 1 rep max to talk about the difference between a 1 rep max and a 1 rep PR. Because in my opinion, they're not the same thing, and I'm not sure that everybody else is clear on that distinction or even agrees with that distinction. So in my mind, a 1 rep PR or a 2 rep PR or a 3 rep PR or an AMRAP PR, those are things that you should be hitting in the gym on a regular basis. Maybe every couple of weeks. Myself, when I go in the gym, I'm always looking to hit some type of PR, even if it's on some type of stupid assistance exercise like bicep curls. Because mentally, I need that to make sure that A, I'm working hard enough, and B, that I know, in the back of my head, I'm definitely getting stronger because I'm always doing more. I think that's very important. A 1 rep max, in contrast, is something that's absolute 100% all out effort, a grinding rep where there's no way you could have done another rep, no way you could have done maybe even 5 pounds more, and you're certainly not going to do any more work after testing your 1 rep max. So to illustrate the difference, I want to show you guys a video of my client, Kate. Kate's a very advanced lifter, so recently she won Best Junior Lifter at IPL Worlds. She set IPL Junior World Records in the deadlift and total. So clearly she's been training for a while, she really knows her body, she's really able to train at a high level, and that's important when we're watching these videos. So first, I want to show you this clip. This is our heaviest training day leading up to the meet. We were taking singles up to a small PR. And I told Kate I wanted about an RPE 9.5. I usually don't use RPE guidelines like that unless I'm really confident the person I'm working with understands RPEs and understands their body well enough to use them, which Kate does. And so this was about a month out from a meet, and Kate's PR at the time was about 420. And so you can see we work up and she hits 430, which is actually a little bit more than I expected, but it's still not an all-out rep. She probably could have doubled it. She probably had 450 in the tank if she really wanted it. And this type of 1 rep PR is the type of PR that I think you should be hitting on a regular basis. Now, in contrast, let's watch the video of her at IPL Worlds. This is her last deadlift. It's 436, so it's still a lot of weight, but it's only a little bit more than that rep in the gym, but this is an all-out, true 1 rep max attempt. And keep in mind, Kate had to travel, she from far away to get to the meet. She had to cut weight. She had to take 3 all-out squat attempts, 3 bench attempts, and then 2 deadlift attempts, and now we're finally on this last rep. And so that all plays in that fatigue, why it's so much slower. But I'm going to shut up and let you all watch because I think this grind is really indicative of the difference between the two different things.
World record attempt here for Kate Hart from Canada as well on the blue platform. 436 pound final attempt here, 198 kilo. Half a kilo over the record right here. Let's do it, Kate.
So that is like an all-out type of lift. And in my last video, when I talked about how to test your 1 rep max, this is kind of what I was going for. Maybe not quite at this level of intensity, because this is up there, but something along these lines. Not something like in the last video, where it was a pretty casual, almost PR attempt, right? So we talked about how, okay, you're going to take that small PR, but then you're going to keep adding weight to the bar until you definitely can't add any more weight. You can't do another rep. And when you do something like that, or something like this deadlift rep, it's very, very draining, which is difficult to incorporate in your programming for a couple of reasons. First, there is the risk of injury when you're training at this intensity. And in my opinion, injury is something that you should really prioritize staying away from. Second of all, this type of effort, you got to take some time to recover from it afterwards, physically, right? And if you're doing that every 4 to 6 weeks, very difficult to program around it. It's like, okay, I'm going to train for a month, but then I need to take maybe even 3 or 4 or 5 days off to recover. It's possible, but it's hard. Whereas if you're going to program that in every, say, 16 to 20 weeks, well, after 16 to 20 weeks of hard training, you need a break anyway. And so it's much easier to work into your schedule. And then finally, I think it's mentally difficult if you're training at this level of intensity all the time, because how are you supposed to maintain that? You get to the point where, and I've been there, you get to the point where you start dreading your workouts because you're like, how in the world am I supposed to top that last effort? That was all out, I have nothing left. And don't get me wrong, some guys can do that, right? You watch Dan Green, it's like every rep the guy does is RPE 11, and then it turns out that was the first rep in a set of 5. So there absolutely are exceptions, and if you found something that works for you, stick with it. I'm not saying you should change, even if you max out every day. If it works for you, stick with it. But I think for most people, you'll be more successful if you try and program around setting these rep PRs, even if they're 1 rep PRs, that are sub-maximal in truth, compared to going all out to set a 1 rep max on a regular basis.